everyone, Shawn here with Manly Made Minute, and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video in my Anthony's Papercraft Design Team series. So today we are going to go away from holiday. We're going to go away from Christmas a tiny bit. I'm still going to weave some Christmas in here a little bit and just leave this as an open-ended nondescript card for now until I decide what I want to use it for. However, we're going to get out his teddy bear stamp. And so this is the teddy bear stamp on his website. Go to anthonyspapercraft.com. Everything right now is 40% off. I will put all the links to this down in my description. Anthony's Papercraft is going out of business, so once it's gone, it's gone. No returns. So he's just trying to sell out some of his inventory before he closes up shop and takes another turn into his career and does some classes and teaching and things for his card making. So I'm wishing him the best of luck. We're going to give you some final videos here through the end of the year as a design team member. And I've not used this stamp before. It's a great, cute little stamp. Good options on this. We could watercolor this. We could marker this. We could color pencil with this. Watercolor pencils. It's got a lot of space to work with. So I'm getting out my Ohuhu markers today. We're going to do some coloring and some shading on this, and I'll kind of walk you through my thought process on how I decide how to shade this when I color this for you. And then I did a little Pinteresting. Got kind of a cool little idea off of Pinterest. So we're going to get out those Hillside Dies by Lawn Fawn. Get out a candy cane stencil from Pink and Main that I've only used once, and we're going to kind of make a really cool, funky, broken up kind of card with a teddy bear kind of peeking out with a Santa hat. So let's go down to my down camera. We're going to show you what we're going to do, what supplies I'm going to use. We're going to color this little teddy bear, and then we're going to start assembling. So let's just take a look at what I got. All right, so again, this is the teddy bear stamp. Let me just zoom out just a tiny bit that we're going to use. And then I'm going to use this Pink and Main layered candy cane stencil to do a little background of a piece that we're going to cut out. And then we're going to break up that card with the, this is the Stitch Hillside Borders by Lawn Fawn. I just bought these, and I've already used them a ton. Absolutely love these. Found a card that was like so cool to do a little different technique with these. So we're going to do that today. And I'm going to get out one of my new embossing folders that I bought on Black Friday sale. This is the embossing folder Refined Snowflakes by Simon Says Stamp. There is die cuts with this, but we're not going to die cut it out. We're just going to emboss my cover that we're going to cut with those stitch borders. So then we're going to start by doing my little candy cane piece. I have used my Cricut, and I have cut out a Santa hat to fit on top of this bear. So this is the hat, and here's the little, fluffy pieces. And I've got this down on a Simon Says 8x8 sticky mat to hold this in place for me. So let's just start by doing my candy canes. All right. So this is the Pink and Main layered candy cane set. And I'm going to do a red and green. So if you want to just do red stripes, you would just use this piece here and stripe this out. We're going to go with the solid. So we're going to do red for this and then green for this. So we're going to have a red and green striped candy cane. All right. So I'm just going to line this up in my corner so it'll be easy to line this up for my two layers. Push down in that sticky mat, and I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use my Rockin' Red and my Grass Skirt by Catherine Pooler to do this red and green striped candy cane. So let me get my brushes here. All right. And we'll just get off the rest of my ink here, clean these up a little bit so I'm not too saturated. All right, we're going to lay down the green first, then I'll do the red over the top. And I don't need it I don't want too dark, to be honest. So I'm just going to give this kind of a light coat of green. And again, you'll see how this is all going to fit in. This is going to be kind of a background layer on that card when I cut this kind of, basically cut that card front in half and lay this piece behind. So we're going to do this teddy bear 3 different ways. And I'm going to do this card for you on camera, and then I've got 2 other cards that I've pre-made just to kind of show you options with this teddy bear. I just kind of wanted to do the teddy bear 3 ways, kind of show you, you know, I'm using Christmas, I'm going to do a birthday and an in between, just to kind of show you that this is something that you can just use for basically anything. Now I'm going to line this up like so. Again, this is my first time using both layers of this stencil set. All right, we're going to do the red now on the rest. I'm going to go pretty heavy-handed on the red so that I get good coverage over that green, so that I get a good stripe off of that. So I am going real heavy-handed here. I did not go heavy-handed on that green because I did not want my red to not cover. Cute, cute, cute stencil. I used this once for a full background for a request for a person actually that wanted a candy cane card. So, all right, let's take a look. I did not do the 2-layer thing last time. Yeah. Oh, look at that. This reminds me like the old school stencils, right? Or not stencils, old school candy canes that we used to get in all the different flavors and stuff. All right. We're going to set this aside. We're going to kind of let that little puppy dry and use that to layer. Now I'm going to use my Rockin' Red, and I'm just going to do my Santa hat here quick. I'm doing the full thing because I'm going to layer the white over the top of those. So I'm just going to ink blend this. I did not Cricut cut this with the different layers of paper because I just thought I can ink blend it. I don't need to like cut all the different layers of paper the way some of these are sometimes with the Cricut. Okay, now all we're going to do is I'm just going to layer that over the top and glue that together right away. All right, so we're going to grab this one, and it should fit right over the top of that. So that way then the hat is done. Like so. And then the little puff ball on the end. Like so. All right, I'm going to take and set this aside to dry. Okay, so we're going to color the teddy bear stamp from Anthony's Papercraft, and I just wanted to show you, you know, a kind of a simple coloring technique. I'm using Hoo markers, and I'll put in the description all the numbers and which ones I'm using, and then we're going to turn these into some cards. So, really quick, this stamp is very simple. There is some shading in it, as you can tell, and I've used that as my guide for the dark shading, and then I just built dark to light as I went in towards the center of the teddy bear. So I've done a couple of these already, and I'll do one here on screen for you. Here's the 2 that I have done already, just to show you. Really simple technique, really super easy to color. Now again, this is with Hoo markers. This is a great stamp with lots of space that you could watercolor pencil. You could use colored pencils and Gamsol. I just chose to get out the markers on this one and give myself a little practice on these markers and do some blending. So let me show you technique that I did on these 2. Same exact technique. I just did slightly different shading and amount of shading on the dark on either one just to kind of test it out. But let me show you what we are doing. So for my browns, I'm using, let me zoom in here for you. So I'm using Y13 as my darkest, then my next is Y12, and then my next will be BR2, and then I'm using Y9 for the pads of the feet and the nose. So this is more of a yellow brown, little lighter tan brown. These three browns though to do my shading, all right? So let's just start with the darkest one, my Y13. And I'm, again, using the stamp shading as my guide here. I'm using the brush tip, not the chisel tip. And what I'm going to do is I'm kind of trying to mimic a little bit of that softness of fur. So I'm doing little flick motions as I do this. Up at the top of the head, I might do some longer strokes kind of to pull that down in, but light little flicks all the way around. So I'm going to start kind of in the belly here and do that shading on the underside of the belly. And I'm pulling it past the stamp line so that I can see that brown. But that's my guide, is the stamping. I'm going to do right up in here, up to the armpit and in the crevice of the leg, right around the belly here, up to the armpit, pull some of that in. And now around the leg. So shading here, and then I'm going to go around the pad of the foot, little flicks all around the edge of the pad of the foot. Kind of trying to mimic that stamp, mimic little flicks of fur kind of coming around. And I'll get back in here on the belly again. We're just trying to create that roundness of the arms and the belly. That's all we're trying to do. All right? And then same here around that leg. And then I'm going to use these little flicks to come around the pad of the foot. Okay, now I want to create the roundness of the arms, so I'm going to use the same kind of flick pattern here, where it's dark, and pull that in, and then go under that chin, and then flick on that underside of the chin to get that shadow, and then I'm going to continue around that perimeter. And I'm using little flicks so that I want a little variegated, short to long little flicks in here so it blends out nicely all around the edge. And this is still that same dark Y13. And remember, the illusion you're trying to give here is roundness of the arms, roundness in that belly, and get some highlighting and shading in there, is ultimately what you're trying for. Okay? And be creative with it. Just, use your own little artistic interpretation. Now, I'm going to do shadow around that bow, but not with my dark one. I'm going to use that with my second darkest, okay? So now we're going to pull in that second darkest, Y12. Now, when I do this, I go over what I previously did and then overextend past that to get a blend. Because this alcohol markers, these will blend out as you continue to go over them and soften the lines out of that previous one. And I'm going to leave this pad kind of round in here because that's where I'm going to throw that light for the pad of the foot. And I'm just tapping in around that dark and then working that dark line out to blend that out just a little bit better. All around. Now I'm going to use this one and I'm just going to draw that shadow around my bow because we'll soften that down with that next color. And then continue all the way around. And remember, these alcohol markers are made to blend with each other. So if you work light to dark, dark to light, that is kind of preference on you. I know artists that do both. I like to work dark to light on mine. Just the way my brain works when I do these. And honestly, this is such an easy stamp to practice shading with and practice this with because of the large openness of it and how much space you have here to play with. And it's a relatively simple stamp. Like there's not a whole lot of, a whole lot to it really. Okay, so now we're going to pull in my lightest brown, the BR2, and we're going to shade in the rest of this. And again, I go over everything I previously colored to get that to blend. And I'm using this to fill in like the pads of the feet. And I'm just trying to soften those lines down as much as I can that I've previously done. So I go over all of that and then soften that down. Pretty easy. Does this have to be a brown bear? No. Blue, pink, you could use any color you wanted really with this, depending on if it's a girl, a boy, or whatever you're making the card for. If it's a birthday card or what have you, tailor it to that. Do different shades of pink. Do different shades of blue. Would look fantastic on this little guy. All right, that's like pretty much your shading here on the bear. Now for the ribbon, on my other two that I did red because I'm doing a Christmassy kind of theme on some of the cards. But there's your little guy. Now I'm going to use the Y9 to fill in his nose. Just to have a little lighter, and I could have did this on the feet too, I guess, but a little lighter on that nose, and I'm just going to leave him like that. Now for the ribbon, I'm going to do blue on the ribbon this time, and I'm just going to kind of flick into the crevices here, go around those edges, and then I'm going to fill the rest in with a yellow, just to give it a little like a little shine and shimmer. So I'm just randomly around those edges, and then fill in the rest. And I'm just blending that out. You're going to get a little bit of green out of this because of the blue and the yellow. So just giving him kind of a little variegated little bow on the little guy. All right, that's it, you guys. That's your marker, alcohol markers, hoo markers. Again, I went around the edge and flicked around the edge with my brown. Then I did my second brown in and went over what I already did and pulled it out farther. And then my last little lighter brown over the rest. And that is your color. So here's the one we just did, and here's the other two that I've done before. So you can see I did little lighter versions. I went a little darker here on this one. And use your little artistic value. This would be great to see some in blue and pinks and greens and different colors. So do a little Care Bear kind of card would be awesome. All right. We're going to take these guys and turn them into some cards. Now, we want to do the card front. I'm going to wipe my hands because I got a little red here, and I don't want to get this card front full. So first thing I'm going to do, this is my card front. Now, I've used the Pink and Main stitch rectangle set number 1. I've used the outside frame, the A2 size frame, full card front frame was what I'm going to do on this. I'm going to cut this first. And now idea here is to do 2 pieces and have a gap in between. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of leave little pencil marks of where I want this gap. So I kind of going to start like, I can go up to here and to here, and then we're going to go like here to here. And I have to keep in mind this is going behind, so I have to kind of stay within the width of this piece, okay? Now, to cut this, I'm going to take one of these hillside dies, and there's different shapes here, and I don't need too wavy hilly. I'm probably just going to do that swoop right there. Okay, and we're going to mimic it on both pieces. So first one is going to go like so, and then the second one will mimic that, and we'll turn it upside down. Okay, so let's just tape this down. So I'm lining it up to my 2 dots here. Then I'm going to flip this around and line it up to my 2 bottom dots and cut that so this chunk will get cut out. All right, so I'm going to do that. I will be right back. Okay, now you can see I've die cut this piece. I've die cut the second piece, lining up my 2 dots, right, and keeping the shape the same on both. And so essentially, this section is going to get cut out and go away. Now I'm going to keep this because this would be great to put a sentiment on or something for another card. All right, so now I'm going to run these 2 pieces through my Fanciful Flurries Snowflake 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to keep kind of that same width as I put this in here. And I need to go this way. So here and about like so. All right, and close that. I'm going to be right back. All right, now here is it. See if the camera will catch this for me. There we go. So now I've got my snowflakes embossed on here. Now, I'm going to leave that white, and then we're going to tape down. I'm going to set this up on dimensionals. We're going to put this on my card front, and then we're going to sneak this behind there. But before we do that, I'm going to take one of the bears that we've colored, and I'm going to fussy cut him out, and I'm going to cut around his arms to see if I can get him to tuck and hang out from that little area. Okay, so I'm going to fussy cut this, then we're going to try to assemble this when I get back. Okay, I fussy cut him out. Now I'm going to take my first dark brown that I used, and I'm just going to go around the edges to kind of get those little white pieces that I couldn't get, you know, with the scissors. And then I'm going to go around the very edge of this and get that white edge and just color this little edge brown. Just to mask that just a little bit. Blend it out. So that way when it's showing from the, you know, that little peekaboo from the card, it just looks all uniform and nice. Just running that along where I cut. And that is it for my little bear. Get those little white pieces. Okay. Now, I didn't fussy cut it. I wanted to show you on camera. So now I'm going to kind of cut out his arms just to get up to his armpit so I can tuck him onto my card. And you'll see what I mean by this in a second. Okay. The other thing I want to do is put this on kind of crooked. His little Santa hat, and poke an ear through. So I'm going to trace the back where this ear is, like so, and then just use a little X-Acto knife, okay, and cut that little piece so I can tuck his ear out. From the hat. So I'm cutting like a little half moon out so that you can see his ear. So you can kind of see that little half moon. And we'll grab my glue and we're going to glue the rest of this down. Alright, so I'm going to take and tuck his ear through. Kind of crook it on his head, like so. And then we got a cute little Santa hat. Alright, again, looking at this stamp in different ways of how I can dress this up for the occasion that I want. And you'll see a birthday hat come on the next one. Okay, let's try to assemble this. Let me grab my card base here. And then we can assemble this on the full card base. So I'm going to just move my sticky mat out of the way here so I have a clean space to work with. All right. And hang on, that is larger than an A2 for some reason. Grab a clean base. Okay, let's fold one in half here. All right, now the idea was to put this up on dimensionals. So these two pieces need to go up on dimensionals, full card. So it's going to go like so, okay? But what I want to do is glue this down to size where it needs to go, and then I'll lay that over the top. So just let me cut that to 4 1/4. Okay, and now I'm just going to mark with a pencil so I make sure that I cover up in that area with this piece, right? So it's going to go down like so. So I have these candy canes peeking out from behind Mr. Teddy. Okay, my bottom line and my top pencil here, make sure that I've got it covered and edge to that card. That's it on that piece, right? Now I'm going to take and pop these up on dimensionals. I chose just to leave these white and simple. You could ink blend it with some blues over this, for this, you know, to get that snow feel, or whatever color you wanted, really. However you choose to blend this or leave it white to match your card, right? Match what you're doing for your card. Match Mr. Teddy. I could do this blue and matches, or yellow and matches little bow tie to my snowflake front. But this was just one of those. I had bought this embossing folder, 40% off, or not 40% off, Black Friday sale, sorry. And thought, I got to use this with Mr. Teddy. All right. Now, this is easy because now I'm just going to set this edge to edge. But what I want to do before I do this is I'm going to take Mr. Teddy on this piece here. Let me see here. Yeah, it's got to be on this piece. So Mr. Teddy's going to go in here just like that. Okay? And now let me get a little glue on the back of him. And now lay this right down to the bottom corner here. Just like so. All right? Do that to the top piece. Now we'll just lay this one down. Now this could be a Christmas card, little kid's Christmas card. This could be a Christmas birthday card. This could be, you know, miss you card, thinking of you card over the holidays. Just depending on what you theme this with. Now we're going to do a birthday one here. I'll show you here in a second that I've pre-made. And then Mr. Teddy can be whatever we want. This one I just was craving using up these candy canes on a card and trying something different with them. And then when I was kind of thinking about doing Mr. Teddy, I was like, I got to make this into a little Santa Teddy. All right, get my last little piece off here. All right, get a little glue so I have a little wiggle room to lay this down. And just remember, we're mimicking that same piece. So we're going to leave Teddy's head out on this one. Okay. Just like so. All right. There you have it. We have a little Teddy card for Christmas. It'd be cute to lay some Christmas presents down here, you know, to decorate this up. But there is our Christmas Teddy in a different way. All right, let me show you the other two cards. All right, here are the teddy bear stamp cards done 3 different ways. So this is the teddy bear stamp from Anthony's Papercraft. As of the filming of this video, which is the 16th of December, everything has been marked 50% off. So this teddy bear stamp is only $6 on his site. And this is the one that we made tonight. And then my other 2 are this. I decided to do him in different occasions. So we've got a birthday here, just designer series paper. I did the coloring with the alcohol markers. The hat and the balloons I cut out with my Cricut, and then I just ink blended and used a stencil to go over the balloons and give them some designs. And then Happy Birthday to You is from the sentiment pack from Simon Says Stamp. I'll have all of this linked below. And then I did a little baby card. So I did a congrats baby card, pink and orange kind of theme. The bib I did cut out on my Cricut. The sentiment is from Simon Says Stamp. And then I just took some designer series paper and made a little pinwheel and used a little beverage straw for the handle of that. And then on this one, I did take and just stamp a little pink bear on the inside to carry that on the inside. All right, so there you have it. This is teddy bear done 3 ways. Get yourself a teddy bear stamp. Really great, simple stamp. Watercolor it, Copic color it. It's an easy stamp. You can do tone-on-tone stamping with this. So it's a great little stamp to have in your stash. Thank you so much for hanging with me. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I'll see you then.